Today we interviewed the first ever South African at the MODUS Super Series, Simon Adams. We asked him about his Ali Pali debut coming up, the state of the game in South Africa at the moment, and of course his iconic celebration. Chris Murphy leads the interview.
Simon Adams, the first African player to play here at the MODUS Super Series where we're sitting today, but also building up for the World Championship. At the age of 56, How does that feel?
You got it right, because when I smile, I look 46, eh? It's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful feeling. I think Devon did an interview with me a night before I won the qualifier, and he asked me, what does it mean to me if I won it? I said, I know my life is going to change. And yeah, I'm being interviewed by the MODUS Series guys. It is a great experience. It's a great feeling. It's undescribable. It's an example to the rest of the world. There is no cap on capability. You know, and age is just a number.
It absolutely is. Well, let's take you back to a much earlier number. I believe you started playing darts when you were around 11 years old. Talk us through your childhood, how you got into darts, what it was like in South Africa back then.
I should start with how it was like in South Africa back then, because as a child, it's a stressful experience to be subjected to the apartheid laws. You know you got a kick under the butt if you walk on the wrong side of the beach. You're not allowed to go there. On Fridays, I go to my dad's job, and it's close to the beachfront. I go with the boss's son to the beach. I must look after the clothes. And because I watched him all have the fun and I couldn't have all the fun, I left and his clothes got stolen. I was a bit stressed. Well, it was a stressful time for us. That's jokingly said. But it was very, very stressful to grow up as a child. But we make the most of it. And when you grow up in the townships like we do, you are raised by a village, man. It's a community-centered approach. And one evening, my father's club came to practice at our house. And before they started, I played against them. So in 1979, I was 11, turning 12. And I beat all of those guys, and they said to my father's nickname is Nutty, Samuel Adams. He said, Nutty, I think you better bring your son to the league game on Sunday, because they played on Sundays. And my father said, not a chance, man. This boy can't enter into the pubs where we go to. They said, no, we'll make a plan. Man, and the rest is history. When I used to go play in the pubs, and the police come and investigate if you're still keeping your liquor license times and adhering to the liquor laws of that time, they hide me in the kitchen. Uncle Puffy Wood, I won't ever forget him. They will hide me in the kitchen, and when they're gone, I come out and I come finish my game. And yeah, I showed promise very early. I was one of those kids that were not sent out of the room because the elders respected me for my skill. I was 14 when I won my first single champions. You call it counties here?
Yeah.
We call it provinces. My double partner, Sulaiman Hassan, wonderful guy, Muslim guy. We won the doubles championship. We narrowly lost at the nationals against KwaZulu-Natal that year in Kimberley. And after that, that was in the 80s. In the 90s, I started to play football. I thought the football messed up my game because I played for the best amateur soccer club in the area where I am. Saints Football Club. You can understand how everything works to the name I finally was baptized by David with. And Saints Football Club, the leadership that I was exposed to there, wonderful. There were guys that were educated. I mean, that's aspirational. They had stable homes. They were married. You know, and the leadership that I was exposed to there really, really shaped me. And when I look back at what happened in my life up until now that I achieved, is almost as if I was prepared for this. So I would, if darts clashes on a Sunday, I would go to a soccer match. Hey, there were more girls watching us in the soccer than at darts. You know, so it was also part of the reason. But I still managed to play darts, pull it through, made provincial teams, played with a wonderful bunch of players. I introduced one of our best players to the game, Victor Hams. He was even better than me. He achieved his Protea colors just after the unification of the sport. And I made a lot of friends. My life was impacted by so many I spent a lot of years with the Goosen family. Now, I'm originally from East London, and not London East. East London is a coastal town between Durban and Port Elizabeth. Port Elizabeth is where I stay now. I can't subject you to pronouncing the new name of Port Elizabeth because it's an African name. They call it Kaibega. So please, I don't expect you to pronounce it like that. And the Goosen family were my biggest sponsors. The Opperman family were one of those. But I met wonderful guys that guided me, like Ernest, Tapas Francis, Mr. Shakespeare was a good administrator, or Arthur Willard. I was never put out of meetings. I was always in the meetings. That is where my administrative skills was developed. I understand meeting procedures besides playing the game. And those guys had a wonderful impact on my life. And I think whatever happened before winning the qualifier, that prepared me for all of this, man.
You've obviously had a lot of good role models, but what about for you? What has darts given you emotionally, mentally? Obviously coming through such a difficult time, did it provide a bit of escape for you as well?
As an unselfish person, that's the only time that I could really be selfish. Selfish in the way that if I go into that hockey, I have a skill that no one at my age possessed at that time because I was the only teenager playing darts. There was no that's why I work so hard with Devon to develop dart players in our country, because there wasn't a Simon Adams for me. I had all of these guys there, but there wasn't a development program that would guide me through it. I could have turned out so much different because of my exposure to this adult world, but I didn't. It helped me to achieve, and it was a little bit an escape from reality. It's something that I really look forward to. If the game clashes with church, I have to go and do Sunday school or church first, and then the game starts at 11, and then I go if it means I have to skip it at a time, because my parents had to manage that part of my life as well. But definitely, it was. I played other sports, but I was in the second team for rugby. If there was a third team, I would have been in the third team. I was in the third team of cricket. If there was a fourth team, I would have been. No, I was actually average. You know, and the same thing with the other sporting codes. But I always did well playing darts. But it wasn't enough opportunities for us to excel.
Yeah, I wanted to come on to that because people in this country, people who are watching this, know about the JDC, the development tour, all the pathways that are available, and before that through the county system to get into darts. What is the pathway in South Africa? What is the state of darts? And I also wanted to ask you about a man you've mentioned a couple of times already, Devon Peterson, and his influence on the game over there.
Man, I think what Devon is doing right now is opening up so much doors because he knows what good looks like. He knows what he had to sacrifice to get where he is today. And our options were limited to a national darts tournament every year, where we paid tons of money to get to the tournament. If you win it, you have bragging rights for the year. They give you a nice big floating trophy. And
that's where it ends?
And that's where it ends. You know, and there was nothing else. And you know, it's like you see a building, a dilapidated building standing there. Nobody shows interest. You go show interest, and suddenly everybody's attention flows there, and they want to stake in there. It was a Whitefield event all the time. Same thing what Devon is doing. Everybody that was there that could have made a difference, they are just objecting against everything, preventing players from taking part in this opportunity. And all that Devon is doing is showing the light. And I saw the light as the light and not as an oncoming train, because besides Devon being credible, I bought into the vision, man, because it's a similar vision that we share, that we wanted in a small place like Port Elizabeth that we're from. And everything happened in the big cities. Because if there's 5,000 members of darts in our country, 2,500 of that comes from Cape Town, where Devon is from. That's why the darts is so strong. Our stronger players come from there. The next of membership will be in the Gauteng area, up in Joburg. You ever heard about Joburg, where all the gold is? There are players that are better than myself, but the authorities are preventing them from participating and buying into Devon's vision. And what Devon and with the help of Nicole and Denver, the guys that he got together to assist him with, and what we're doing in development, we achieved a 5-year plan in 9 months. You know, and that is driven by the passion and the need that is there for the opportunities that is created. This was unexpected. But you know, God knows the plan for you, but He won't tell you. You just have to be ready for it.
You're obviously a very sort of spiritual person. We see that in your celebration when you hit a double, when you win a leg. Looking into your hands, I think a lot of people at the World Championship are going to pick up on that. Just explain what that's all about.
So I looked at the game and I look at all the players that are in the game, and I'm the type of person that coaches youngsters. And I don't say people mustn't celebrate the way they do, boo-ah, or wow, or whatever they want to do. It just doesn't resonate with me. I know when I lose a game and people does that, I know how I feel. First of all, I have respect. If people say win with dignity, lose with dignity, I want to lead that example. And that, first of all, is to consider my opponent that already feels bad because he lost, and I still rub it in his face. It doesn't mean I'm not competitive. Secondly, I am grateful, and I want the world to know that there's a higher power controlling our lives, and I acknowledge that. And if the Almighty is acknowledged, my journey, I could have been a champion earlier in my life. And you know what? I must tell you the story if we have time for it. So my son got married here in August, and I was exposed to all the transportation and went to Chelsea Football Club, although I'm a Tottenham supporter, but I had to go there because my family is. And I said to them, boys, I wondered why I haven't moved here a long time ago. Everything works here, there's no load shedding, the train system is working. And my youngest son, without hesitation, says, "You were too busy fixing your country, Pa." And it made me think, yes, that probably is right, eh? So we did a lot with what we had in our hands. I'm older now, I'm much more mature. I can't throw stones at police vehicles anymore in a riot. I must use my skills and my ability to empower others. And though I might not ever move to England to experience the life that they are experiencing, they open the doors. I come here, I have, my son is my taxi, and my daughter-in-law is my taxi. I don't have to go into a train because they're here. And I think that is how the universe works. That is how your spirituality helps you to get through things. Because if you are depressed and you are frustrated, it's a spiritual condition, right? And I believe it doesn't matter how many times you go to the gym or throw the dartboard, it doesn't go away. You have to address it spiritually.
With everything you've done in your life, with everything you've achieved, and everything you've put into the game in South Africa, is there a sense that this is your time now?
Yes, as I said, the Almighty knows the plan He has for you. He just doesn't tell you when. But you have to be ready for it. So when it happens, and I am getting goosebumps when I speak about this. Hey, I'm not joking about this. Wow. You sense that this could be my time. Until it happens, if I look back on how I won the qualifier on that day, because I'm a ranked player in the African Continental Tours that is organized by the African Dart Group, I play from the last 32. So my first game was fairly easy. And then my friend Dion Oliver came to me and he said, "Hey, Simon, all the big boys are being knocked out by the Kenyans." And I thought, could this be it? Everyone else? But then I had to play those guys that were knocking out Vernon Bowers and Grant Simpson and Carolison. And I thought, these are the guys that are in the top 4. They are just above me in this African Continental Tours. And now they're gone. Now I have to deal with these guys. The next game I got in the last 16, I forgot, I think it's David from Kenya. He leads me 5-3, I win 6-5. I thought, oh, okay. The next game I made another Kenyan because the Kenyans play very well, eh? It's just that they haven't had the exposure. And because of what Devon is doing, they get this opportunity now to come and compete as well. The next game I lead 4-0. The guys make it 4-4, 5-4, and I had to come back and win him 6-5. In the quarterfinals, the youngster, Zander, he was at Q School a year or so ago. He leads me 2-0. I had to close the game on 141 to beat him 7-6. Then in the finals, I played against Stefan Vermaak. A few weeks ago, Stefan Vermaak is one of our best players we have. He has beaten me 8-7 in a previous final in Johannesburg. And I got there to the finals, and I won the game 8-0 with a 93 average, which is way above my norm. And that is when I realized I was happy that I won, but also sad that I had to do it against my protege, as per se, my homeboy. And he's a younger guy, or maybe the Almighty felt, Stephen has a chance to do this. I'm giving this to you. It's at the right time, ripe old 56. When you smile, you're 46. And I'm here today, you know? It's amazing.
It is amazing. You certainly are. We're really, really glad that you came and joined us at the MODUS Super Series. And we just want to wish you all the best at the World Championship at Ali Pali. Simon Adams, I think this is your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.